13 seats for Boston City Council are up for a vote. Only 2 seats have had enough candidates running to require a preliminary election. So one of those races now has incumbent Councillor Tito Jackson seeking his 3rd term in District 7 against Charles Clemons, Jr., the co-founder of Touch 106.1 FM. District 7 includes Roxbury, parts of the South End, Mission Hill, and Fenway. And while Councillor Jackson outdistanced his closest challenger, Clemons, by a wide margin in the preliminary, challenger Clemons says it's on to the finals on November 3rd. Today we've invited both men to join us for a lively local politics discussion here on Urban Update. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thank you so much.
Okay, let's get it on. Let me start, why don't I start with the challenger, Charles Clemons Jr. Tell me why you are running for City Council.
Real simple. I want to see one Boston. I'm tired of the disparities that are happening in District 7. Boston is separated by economics, racism, classism, and of course education. And I, as City Council for District 7, will work closely with the current City Councilors to make a one Boston a reality.
Okay, and Tito Jackson, Councilor Tito Jackson, running for your 3rd term. Why do you deserve a 3rd term?
I have a demonstrated history of producing for my district. I've worked on large issues like the Olympics. I was the councilor who stepped forward and actually subpoenaed the financials of the Boston 2024 Olympics. When the Boston University president refused to come to the Boston City Council and sit before my education committee and tell us about the diversity record, I also subpoenaed him. But also I've worked on small important issues in our community, such as when a Stop and Shop refused to open a door which they had barricaded. I was actually able to get that open. Wide range of things. We have to make sure that we cover and actually deal with the disparity in our community in terms of wealth gap. Net assets of a white family in Boston, $256,000. Net assets of an African-American family, $700. That's from the Color of Wealth report. And we have to make sure that we close that disparity, and I work on that every single day.
Charles Clemons, talk to me about some of the issues that you feel are important, the most important issues, time to say 2 or 3 issues facing
Well, we can start off with the councilor just stated, the incumbent, about the gap between the wealth that has been going on since he's been in office, and we definitely have to address the economic development that's going on. We have to understand, if you was to take a grid and put it on District 7, the highest rate of unemployment is in District 7, along with the violence that goes on happens in District 7. As City Councilor on my watch, we're going to stop the economic development that's going on that doesn't include the residents of the city of Boston. We have to look at trauma that goes on daily in our community. The Boston residency policy has an ordinance that simply says 50% of the jobs should be Boston residents, 25% people of color, 10% women. That has not been enforced, and as City Councilor for District 7, I'm going to enforce that. Not only will I enforce it, we're going to make sure that those developers and contractors are hit with fines, $500,000 to $1 million fines, just like the residents that are living under the poverty line.
What are you going to do that the incumbent councilor has not done?
Well, the councilor didn't subpoena the Olympics. The councilor should subpoena the developers that are going on, that's happening in our community, where we are not part of the economic development that's going on. I will enforce the Boston residency job policy that has not been enforced.
Tito Jackson, what about that?
About that issue, I've worked very hard on this issue of the Boston residence job policy. The institutional master plan that I negotiated with Northeastern University actually included $2.5 million to actually help the businesses that Charles is bringing up. It also set aside jobs for people in the community, 50% resident, 40% people of color, as well as 15% women. And then in addition, we actually were able to include procurement, 15% of the aggregate procurement over the next 10 years. And I think this is a model for every college, university, and hospital to be able to help the community that we're talking about. The other areas that I've worked very hard on are education. I'm the chair of education on the City Council, really focusing on the disparities that we see there relative to how there's a disparate number of outcomes for Black and Latino youth versus their white and Asian peers, called the achievement gap, as well as diversity in our teacher corps. And this is actually still, there are still parts of the Garrity decision in play. And lastly, as Charles brought up, we have to make sure that we deal with issues around jobs, economic development, which also leads to housing that is affordable for people in our community. The housing crisis is out of control, and we have to get our arms wrapped around that.
Can you talk about any promises or proposals that you're offering your constituents?
So I will be working on redoing the Roxbury master plan. There's 1.7 million square feet of land available in Roxbury. We need that. We need to determine what our goals are for that land, what type of jobs, economic development, and economic resources that we need there, and also looking at housing. So that's one of the components. And I will continue to lead the council in dealing with the disparities around education, and in particular vocational technical education. And I work very hard with Madison Park Vocational Technical High School to turn that school around.
The council brought up working with vocational. Madison Park High School became a vocational school 16 years ago with 39 trades in it. Now it only has 16 trades in it. On Councilor's Watch in District 7, where Madison Park is located, we only have 19 trades in there. However, we have the building of Boston Police Headquarters, Ruggles Station, Tropical Foods, and the brand new school department. None of the students worked on any of those projects. Imagine if the students had the opportunity to work on those projects where it could inspire them and they could walk around and drive around and say, I helped build that.
I want to move on to another topic. First, the spike in violence in the neighborhoods. I'd like to get both your takes on that. Why you think it's happening and what you intend to do about it.
Well, as a former...
Let me start with Tito on this one.
Yep. So we know that the young men who are participating in this, 300 young men who are on our PAC list. I put forward a plan to really address this issue. It's a pretty aggressive plan. Looks at Richmond, California, city of 100,000 people, 42 murders in 2010, and they actually now have outcomes of 11 murders, and what they have is an 18-month engagement with the young men who are actually participating in this activity. We have a 40% spike in shootings in the city of Boston, and we are not speaking to the individuals who are actually participating in this behavior. So that's one of the things and it's absolutely unacceptable what's going on the streets.
Charles, the spike in violence in Boston.
Well, we have to, first of all, it's horrible, and we will agree that it is horrible. However, as a former Boston police officer, walking the beat in beautiful Uptown Grove Hall and understanding community policing, having officers that look like the community, that speak the language of the community, that live in the community, that understand, have empathy of the community. But also we have to understand that giving people money is not going to solve anything. Education is the key to the root for any success that you look at. So we have to look at educating our people, and not all of our children are book savvy. A lot of our children need the trade schools that we have, and we have to remember that Madison Park High School, unlike Worcester Vocational, gets $18,000 per student. Madison Park High School only gets $8,000 to $9,000 per student. That's appalling. It's not right. And as City Councilor for District 7, that's going to stop on my watch.
Tito Jackson, what voters are they trying to decide? What do you think distinguishes you relative to your candidate about why they should vote for you instead of Charles Clemons?
I don't think there needs to be a comparison. I have a demonstrated history of delivering for my neighborhood and community. I have the experience to continue to deliver for my neighborhood and community. And we have some momentum that's occurring in District 7, and so we should continue on with that forward momentum in District 7.
Charles Clemons, same question. What do you think distinguishes you from your opponent?
I was born and raised in District 7. I live in District 7. And like President Barack Obama came up with My Brother's Keeper, and Mayor Marty Walsh co-signed My Brother's Keeper, I've always been my brother's keeper. I've always been about service and helping others.
Okay, and finally, this is a real short question here, but I'll give you both the same question. A vote for Tito Jackson. If you can finish this sentence, please. A vote for Tito Jackson is a vote for
progress and momentum into the future.
Okay, and a vote for Charles Clemons Jr. is a vote for
Change. Change starts with the letter C. Charles starts with the letter C, and Clemens starts with the letter C. However, if you want the same old, then you vote for Tito.
Okay, all right, and we'll leave it right there.
You haven't said that, did you?
I suppose that, do you want to respond?
That is absolutely fine. He can have the last word.
Okay, all right, Tito
voters will
Jackson.
determine the last
Tito Jackson and Charles Clemens. I guess we'll see how it all comes out on November 3rd. Don't forget to vote. Okay, when we come back, the much talked about opioid epidemic discussed right here on Urban Update. Stay with us.